And the Syrian Foreign Ministry has slammed the top international peace envoy to the conflict zone as flagrantly biased. It comes after Lakhdar Brahimi said he doesn't see a place for President Assad in a transitional government envisaged by an international peace plan. Damascus has reiterated that Assad will not step down under foreign pressure. Meantime, another development. Western experts say Syria's conflict is putting the country's uranium stockpiles at risk. Let's talk about this then with Middle East commentator and blogger Carl Sharrow. Hi, Carl. Thanks for taking the time to be with us tonight. Reports say Syria may have up to 50 tons of unenriched uranium, enough to make maybe 5 nuclear bombs. Is that feasible? This is all pretty secret stuff, isn't it? We know there aren't a lot of details about Syria when it comes to nuclear. What do you think the picture is?
I mean, nobody knows for sure, but let's just look at the timing of this announcement. It's almost that now there's a kind of a sequence, a chain of alarmist scenarios that are being produced concerning chemical weapons and nuclear sort of uranium stock of the Syrian regime.
Echoes of Iraq, you think?
Sorry?
Echoes of Iraq, you think?
Partially, I think, but I think it's certainly not necessarily linked to a direct invasion. But I think what's happening is there's a process of planning for the day after Assad, as Western powers are imagining it. And I think they're piling up all these different reasons for them to step in and take control of the country should that happen. I mean, one of the scenarios that said now they're afraid that Iran might get this uranium, unenriched uranium. And in fact, they could obtain it now had Bashar al-Assad had it. So I think it's another in this long list of possible reasons for the West to, or Western states to intervene and meddle in Syria by creating pretexts and scenarios.
Well, of course,
that might not be true.
The last time we heard Syria nuclear put together was back in 2007, wasn't it? The Al-Kibar reactor that was destroyed in, we think, a secret Israeli operation. So Israel's going to be looking at this very carefully, and these latest revelations, if indeed they're even true in the first place, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Israel is already kind of taking steps to control any possible fallout from how that plays out in Syria. For example, like building defense, which is misleadingly reported in the Western press as along the border with Syria, when in fact it's deep into Syrian territory because it will include naturally the occupied Golan Heights. But I think what's interesting is both Western powers and Israel are looking at this primarily from this point of view of security, but I think it's taken into extreme scenarios that are highly unfeasible. I mean, there might be some truth to them, but for where we're standing right now, it seems that there's a lot of preparation for pretext for stepping in should Assad fall and taking control of the situation, including the conference that was took place yesterday in the UK, when the UK government decided to plan for that possibility. So you see that there are multiple players engaged in that process, which is kind of really shocking that the fate of Syria could be decided outside this blatantly.
Let's go back to the nuclear issue and these rumours. I mean, what potentially could Israel's reaction be if said stockpiles do exist and if they ended up in the wrong hands? Worst case scenario, I guess. What could it be, do you think?
Well, worst case scenario, I think they will, if you look at Israel's strategy in the past, it favors these clandestine operations, and they will definitely step in and try to seize control. Now, whether that takes the form of a commando operation or a land invasion, we can't tell at this moment because nobody knows how the scenario will play out in the future. But there's certainly, I think the problem is everyone involved or looking at the situation from the outside are putting themselves in the frame of mind of everything going wrong and we need to step in, and this is certainly hitting the situation up rather than cooling it down.
Middle East commentator, blogger Carl Sharrow on the line from London. Thank you very much.